Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro is set to be arraigned in a New York City courtroom today on drug and weapons and narco-terrorism charges. And an explosion kills 40 people during a New Year's celebration in Switzerland.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Caroline Mueller, here with you on this Monday, January 5th. It is now 5 o'clock, so let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it has been a while, but I'm happy to be back, but not so happy to be defrosting my windshield again.
Yeah, I'm happy for you to be back as well. And yeah, it's a cold start to your morning, Caroline, and a lot of folks will definitely be feeling the chill in the air as you're heading out the door. But good news is we're going to see a change in that forecast. So these upper 20s, low 30s that we're seeing this morning will be quickly making its way into the upper 50s and low 60s. So not bad at all, especially when you consider we should be in the mid 40s for this time of year. So definitely enjoy the warmer than average temperatures because they're going to be holding on for most of this week. Now, in terms of what we're seeing in the clouds, a little bit of clouds here and there, but altogether it will be a nice and dry day all day long. And in fact, as we head towards the more afternoon hours, we're looking at sunshine all over the region, seeing cloud covers increasing as we're heading overnight and into your Tuesday with slight chances for rain reappearing in the forecast tomorrow afternoon. Caroline.
Thanks, Megan. Today, former President Nicolas Maduro and his wife are expected to be arraigned in a New York courtroom on narco-terrorism charges. On Saturday, the U.S. military captured him and his wife, Celia Flores, in Venezuela's capital city of Caracas. Former Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is the interim president. President Trump says Venezuela is a dead country and needs to be brought back with investments into oil companies and infrastructure. Some Justice Department lawyers are slamming the Venezuelan operation as illegal.
The Constitution is really pretty clear that the representatives of the people get to be consulted and ultimately approve military activity. That has not happened here.
White House leaders are expected to give a classified briefing to lawmakers later this afternoon. The news out of Venezuela prompted reaction across the world, from celebrations to protests. It also caused some unexpected travel delays in the Caribbean for those returning from holiday vacations. Bradley Blackburn has more.
In South Florida, there were celebrations over the weekend as Venezuelans who fled their country learned of the toppling of the Maduro regime.
It's just a feeling, I can't explain it. We make a life here because we had to, not because we wanted to. So we really want to go back.
Some 8 million Venezuelans, more than a quarter of the country's population, left their homeland in the last decade after economic collapse under a repressive government.
I think we deserve having freedom.
But elsewhere, there was anger. Protests in many places, from Texas to New York and North Carolina.
So outrageous seeing that our tax dollars are being used for this outrageous act of bombing another country and a sovereign nation.
At the Vatican, Pope Leo, addressing a crowd of followers in Italian, criticized the U.S. intervention. Meanwhile, there were ripple effects at airports nationwide after airspace was closed during the U.S. operation. The FAA closed the skies over much of the Caribbean Saturday, stranding many travelers trying to get home from the holidays, including CBS Philadelphia photojournalist Nate Silvas.
We had a flight on Frontier, that was canceled. Then we had a flight on United, that was canceled. So then we were scrambling to try to get another flight.
Some travelers were told it could take days to get rebooked, but airlines are now adding service and using larger planes to try to catch up. Altogether, more than 1,100 flights were canceled due to the military action in Venezuela. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Globally, the reaction to the news in Venezuela has been mixed. China, which buys more oil from Venezuela than any other country, quote, strongly condemned the blatant use of force against a sovereign state. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer said the UK sheds no tears about the end of the Maduro regime. Kentucky Representative Hal Rogers made a statement on X applauding President Trump for taking action against narco-terrorism, saying, quote, "I applaud the President Trump for taking decisive action to dismantle the narco-terrorist regime in Venezuela, led by its president, Nicolas Maduro. Our brave military service members have shown extreme excellence in accomplishing this historic mission, and I salute each one of our heroes. For years, we have battled an epidemic of deadly drugs flooding into our American communities from Venezuela, and this is a monumental display of U.S. force against the cartels and dictators who pursue terrorism over peace," end quote. Folks in Switzerland are still trying to process an explosion that resulted in the death of approximately 40 people during a New Year's celebration. Some in the Swiss town of Sion say they were in shock after the fire that happened in a ski resort bar. Some also say that it provided a reality check to them and that they could have been killed if they had decided to attend the party.
Yeah, the fact that it's so close proximity, it's one of those places you go to, you know, everyone goes to bars to party and those things. It's weird, it's eye-opening, and it gave me a sense of gratitude.
Thank you very much.
Roughly 115 people were injured from the explosion. Swiss authorities say they are not sure what caused the blaze. Federal officials say they've arrested an 18-year-old North Carolina man for planning an ISIS-inspired New Year's Eve terror attack. U.S. Attorney Russ Ferguson says Christian Sturtevant had been planning the attack for a year and was targeting a North Carolina grocery store and fast food restaurant outside of Charlotte. Officials say he pledged his allegiance to ISIS to an undercover agent.
So Mr. Sturtevant started on the internet. He started reading ISIS material, started going to ISIS websites, making TikTok videos, and eventually reached out to what he thought was a member of ISIS. In reality, was an undercover agent with NYPD in New York. He pledged his allegiance to ISIS with that undercover agent, and he disclosed his plans to, quote, do jihad soon.
Investigators serving a search warrant at the suspect's home found plans and potential weapons under the suspect's bed. The man accused of being the Washington, D.C. pipe bomber will remain in jail until he faces trial. That ruling from a federal judge Friday, 2 days after a hearing in which prosecutors argued that Brian Cole Jr. would pose a danger to others if he were released and allowed to live with his family. Cole is accused of placing explosives outside both the Democratic and Republican National Committee buildings in January of 2021. When it comes to political leaning in the U.S., age may be one of the most influential factors. According to a CNN poll, Americans feel more politically connected by generation than they do by race or gender. Nearly 60% of respondents in the poll said they share a lot of common interests and concerns with other people of their generation. By contrast, fewer than half of Americans, 43%, said they feel politically connected to others of their gender. And just 39% said they feel politically connected to others of the same race. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Still to come, researchers uncover the deep history of kissing, and it turns out we're not the only ones doing it.
And we're talking clouds and, for some folks, a chance of rain coming up.